This is the Umbrian-Tuscany border near Monterchi and is Piero della Francesca country, the land of the great Renaissance artist who is always able to conjure an extraordinary mix of dynamism and action with stillness, and so speaks straight to the heart and plunges into the depth of the soul. And in particular, I've been contemplating the image in Monterchi known as the Madonna del Parto. It shows Mary heavily pregnant with the Christ child, with her hand upon her belly, another hand supporting her hip, and she's stood beneath a great canopy that's held open by two angels. It's an image of Mary that shows her in the form that stresses the human nature of her child, in contrast to annunciations that stress the divine nature of Christ by depicting her fertility as showering out of the heavens like a great stream of golden sperm. No, the Madonna del Parto stands in the other tradition and is very linked to, so the blurbs tell us, the fertility and the fertility rites of the region. For millennia, women in particular have tended to that by tending to the gods of fertility. And so it's very natural that Mary, the woman who bore Christ, God, into the world, should have assumed that role too, which Piero della Francesca alludes to by showing Mary in her human aspect, bearing the human child. Her dress is like a great cascade of blue water tumbling down, which relates to the river in which women would have bathed in order to promote their own fertility as well. So what has this wonderful image got to say to us now? Well, my mind turned as well to the thoughts of my friend and colleague in our conversations, Rupert Sheldrake. And Rupert has written about how materialism is deeply etymologically linked to the Latin for mother, mater. Matter and mater are very deeply interlinked in our language. And yet in modern materialism, inspired particularly by evolutionary science, the divine aspect of that, Mother Nature, has become unconscious, has been driven underground, and he speculates that, say in the writings of Charles Darwin, who does refer to Mother Nature, but always does so with great reservation. He says, this is a wonderful metaphor that I somehow can't quite seem to escape, but you shouldn't take it too seriously. That attitude is indicating to us how the Divine Mother has become unconscious to us. Mater hidden in matter. And that's why nature seems to us to be as if a devouring mother. This is nature red in tooth and claw. This is nature as a struggle, as survival of the fittest. As if Mother Nature doesn't care for us, but is only bothered about the preservation of life itself, and not about all the creatures that exist in that domain. But maybe, Rupert suggests, and it came back to me as I was looking at this image of the Madonna, by becoming more conscious of the Divine Mother once again, Mother Nature herself might start to look really very different. So how can this image help us? Well, her great tumbling dress of fertile water is broken by a white underdress showing through, and this, it said, is suggestive of how her tabernacle, her womb, won't be like the old tabernacle that hid God in the temple, accessible only to the high priest in a very limited way, but that her tabernacle or womb will bear God into the world for all to see. So this is a revelation that's also an embrace of the material world, not a seclusion from it. And then you notice how Mary is also thought in the Christian mythology as holding the cosmos itself. She bears the logos, the creative word in her womb, and so bears that creative impulse, that underpinning of life itself, that tendency or lure that is both from God and takes us back to God. And so this is the Divine Mother in her cosmic aspect, holding, containing, bearing all things too. And that seems related to nature when you consider the angels who are holding open the great canopy of the heavens within which Mary is stood. And they, it's said, represent the spring and the autumn equinox. They're in balance, they're in a kind of harmony, like the gateposts of a portal of the year, within which Mary, the Divine Mother, can be known. And there's another sense of integration in the image too, because Piero is known for his use of perspective and the balance of colour, which is shown very clearly in this image. The angels are one wearing a kind of purple dress with green wings, the other a green dress with purple wings. And so Piero is integrating head and heart, reason and religion, geometry and spirit. Mary brings those things together as well. And so can it be that by contemplating this image, the Divine Mother, Mother Nature, might herself become more conscious to us, and so instead of being seen as devouring and frightening, could be seen as bearing all things, holding all things together, life and death, through the cycles of the season, through the pattern that we know in this material life, but also in that very contemplation, through Piero's genius with stillness amidst that which is unfolding, can be known the divine presence, the source, the wellspring, that in finite, transient, mortal life, the infinite, the immortal, and the eternal can be detected, even as the Divine Mother, Mother Nature, Mary, the Madonna del Parto, holds us and stands in our midst.